Hi, and welcome to Mainly Facts. I'm Mr. Facts, aka Klaus, and joining me is my best friend and your best chance of getting out of here alive, Sean.
I'm redacted.
My best friend is cheating on his wife.
Not me.
No,
That's
not my
not-
best friend. I mean, you don't have a wife.
That might be considered a form of disloyalty.
I don't know if this is the right thread to post this in, but I need help. Well, we're maybe a little late, but we got you. My best friend, 33 male, and I, 32 male, have been inseparable since we were 5. We went to school together, did most of life's major milestones together, and I consider him my brother in all but blood. When his grandmother passed while we were in high school, she even had me in her will, leaving me a small trust to use for college. For as long as I can remember, his family has been mine and vice versa. We both got married in 2017. Our wives are very close and have been since we were dating. While I'm not as close with her as my wife, I see his wife like my sister, and I care about her the same way. Bad news for this person.
Yeah, this is, oh man, what a heartbreaking setup.
3 days ago, I was riding in my best friend's car when he asked me to put on some music. I picked up his phone and put in his code. We've both known each other's passcodes for years, and while I was navigating Spotify, a text came through from a pizza place that said, "Coming over tonight?" I sat there stunned for a few seconds before turning and asking him who the F pizza place was. He immediately started yelling at me for going through his messages before I told him what happened. He pulled into a parking lot and spent a few minutes yelling at each other until he finally came clean. He's been hooking up with a coworker for about a month. He says that he still loves his wife and has no intentions of leaving her. He begged me not to tell his wife and that he's going to find a way to break it off with this other woman, but says he's in too deep to just ghost her and doesn't know how to cut it off yet. He swears it will never happen again and that his mistake doesn't warrant ruining his and his wife's marriage. After some back and forth, I reluctantly agreed to stay quiet, but later that day, I remembered something that might change my mind. Let me change your mind. Whether or not it ruins their marriage is up to his wife.
That's
and
her
him
decision.
to a lesser degree at this point. He's kind of given away some of that right, I think.
Yeah.
But I'll say this. I've seen the wiki. I'm not married to Madam Facts. We are together. We're partners. We are not married. I don't know. The internet, you think you know things that you don't. However,
I haven't seen the wiki.
you shouldn't. It
Okay.
says weird things about me, most of which are true. But if you ever found out that I was cheating on Madam Facts, I would hope that you would go and tell her immediately.
I would.
You do not have to go to me and be like, I mean,
I would go to you, but
I think you could go to me and say, hey, you're going to tell her or I am. The end. Like, I don't care what your friendship is like. No. You don't make passes for cheating crap like that. It's like, sorry, but if you care about this wife, like you say you do, like a sister.
Well, and even with the moral dimension aside, like if you are keeping that secret for your friend, like now you are morally implicated. I guess it's not morally aside, but now your morals are compromised, right?
Yep.
Like you have to lie to this person. That's a lot to ask of someone. That's not fair.
Yeah, no. Don't like it. But, all right, let's see. So this is a thing that might change their mind. He and his wife started the process of in vitro fertilization a few months ago. I haven't pressed for details, but she has used my wife as support through the process, and I know it's been very taxing on her. Ultimately, my dilemma is this. Is it right for me to keep this a secret, knowing that they're trying to bring a child into this world, and knowing that the child could be born into a broken home if his wife finds out after she gets pregnant? I'm torn between the friend that I love like my brother and what I feel would be the right thing to do. I know I'm not the one who is wronged here, but I feel so betrayed and angry. I feel like he's done something that's going to tear apart the small family the four of us have built together and the bigger one we planned on having one day. I know he's not a bad person, and up to this point, I'm pretty sure he's been a model husband. I'm so unsure what to do, and I need help. Edit, thank you all for your replies and advice. I talked to my wife last night and she asked a friend's wife to come over tomorrow night to talk. I'll update with more details afterward. And then, yeah, we've got an update here. And this was June 22nd, 2024. Oh, this is recent.
Hot and fresh.
I mean, I don't know when folks are going to see this, but it's recent. Well, okay, a little over a month, but that's pretty recent. First off, thanks to everyone for your advice. I think I was still kind of in the mode of shock and panic. Reading your comments helped me sober up. I appreciate you all. I'd also like to quickly address those of you who suggested burying it because I have no ties to this woman, or he's your friend, not her, or bros before hoes. I hope all those people got kidney stones. Oh, God.
I hope their Dairy Queen Blizzard falls right out of the cup when they put it upside down.
Yes, exactly. Also, he implicitly said that his friend's wife is a friend of his and like a sister to him. So just stop it.
He does not have no ties to this woman.
Also, all of you saying those things, enjoy your loneliness. This isn't some random girl he just started hanging out with. They've been married for 7 years and were dating for 2 before that. She's been a big part of our lives for nearly a decade and is my friend in her own right, even if she doesn't share the same history as me and her husband do. So the idea that I have no ties to her or owe her nothing is just wrong. Even if he wasn't close to her, she's still a human being that he should have some amount of respect for.
Yeah.
That's just, I'm sorry. Like, even if she's like not the best and you don't like her a lot, that doesn't mean that you should want that to be happening to her.
Yeah.
So
it's also, again, a lot to ask of someone that they lie on your behalf for, what, indefinitely? Forever?
Apparently. The evening after posting this, I told my wife, you all were right that I shouldn't have kept it from her in the first place. She listened to what happened and then sat silent for a minute. I was afraid she was going to be mad at me for not telling her like a lot of you said, but no. She said that a part of her was relieved because she could tell that something had been severely bothering me these past couple of days, but aside from offering the occasional, are you okay? She decided that I would tell her when I was ready to share. Though, when I told her about the thread, she was slightly annoyed and thought it was silly for me to have brought my problems to a bunch of strangers on the internet before I brought it to her. Yeah.
I get it. It's anonymity, like the fact that they're completely a third party and unaffiliated. Maybe Reddit isn't the best place, but
Reddit's never the best place.
Yeah.
I mean, you do what you can, I suppose. Yeah. I get it. I get what you're saying. I apologize for not telling her sooner and for waiting to act despite knowing in my heart what I needed to do. My wonderful, amazing, and astoundingly understanding wife responded with, even when we're sure what is right, it's only human to hesitate when we know it's going to cost us dearly. That said, she and I are all good. She sounds smarter than us.
Yeah.
She should be doing this.
Merrier. Again.
Doing it. Do it. I'll officiate. In Minnesota only. After our discussion, I showed her the thread. She read comments for nearly an hour before we started talking again. Submitting your wife to an hour of reading Reddit, that's not a great move.
That was probably a bad
you owe
plan.
her something.
Yeah.
Ultimately, we decided that we had to tell my friend's wife, who I will from here onward refer to as sister so I don't keep having to say friend's wife. The reason we did this, I mean, you could have just made up a name, I don't know. Call her Sally.
Call her redacted.
Call her redacted. The reason we did this instead of an ultimatum is my wife was concerned he would use the time to cover his tracks or orchestrate her opinion against us. Neither of us really felt that would be in character for him, but we wouldn't have thought it was in character for him to cheat either. My wife texted sister and asked if she could come over after work the next day. Sister works mostly evenings, so she usually gets off around 11. My wife had told her it was a serious conversation, so sister was pretty tense when she arrived at our house. We sat her down and we told her everything. After hearing it, she took a long breath and said, I've known for a couple of weeks. Apparently, she had asked her boss if she could go home early one night a few weeks ago because she wasn't feeling well and found he wasn't home. She texted him asking what he was up to, and he said he was at home watching TV. She tried to look up his location on their tracking app, but it was turned off. She left home and waited until her shift would normally end to return. He was home when she got there, and when she asked how his evening was or if he did anything interesting, he told her he'd been home all evening watching TV and playing video games. She checked the app again, and sure enough, his location was turned back on. Sister said that until we told her she didn't have any proof, but she felt she knew what must have been happening. We asked her what she was planning to do now that she knew. Here's the part I didn't see coming. She plans to move forward with the in vitro fertilization. According to her, it's always been her lifelong dream to be a mother, and without IVF, it will never happen. IVF is expensive. She won't be able to afford it on her own, and she's afraid that if she leaves her husband, she'll never get another chance. Her current current plan is to follow through with implantation and decide what will happen to her marriage afterward. She says they have a healthy embryo and she wants to give her child a chance, even if it means she could end up raising the child on her own. When I asked if there was any way she could see them reconciling when this is all over, she said it depends on him. In the end, she asked us to please keep it quiet and not tell him that she knows. We agreed and assured her we'll be there for her if she needs anything. I called my friend the next day and told him that while I still love him, I need space after hearing what he did and that we wouldn't be seeing each other for a while. I still feel a lot of things. Relief from not bearing the secret, sorrow for sister and what I fear she's going to have to go through, anger at my friend for destroying our family as it has been, if not destroying it entirely, and grief from what feels like the loss of the person who has been with me my whole life. I hope for all three of their sakes they can work it out, but I know those chances are slim. This whole thing has been exhausting, and while I'm not sure exactly how to move on from it, now I can at least try. Thank you again for your help. I doubt I'll have any more updates. And relevant comments, different management said, "What did your friend say when you told him you didn't want to see him anymore?" Mostly he just kept apologizing and saying he was going to fix things.
Hope so. These are a lot sadder when many of the people involved seem like nice people.
Yeah, just some good people. So we'll call her sister now.
I guess so.
I guess. I don't know if I think sister's plan is the best.
I'm a little worried.
I get that in vitro fertilization is certainly expensive. I would encourage her. Adoption is a beautiful thing that I think is a very healthy alternative, but whatever. I'm also I don't like adding another layer of subterfuge in this relationship because now they're both lying to each other. If there are hopes for things getting worked out, that is not helping. That will not help things in the long run.
For sure.
And I just don't know how to feel.
I don't feel like she's doing anything. It's hard to say that I don't know that she's doing anything morally wrong with that. Maybe that's real sticky.
I think maybe she is. I mean, it's much less morally wrong than what he's done.
Yeah.
For sure. But it's still like, you're still lying and you're still trying to get a child out of this deal before crap hits the fan, I guess.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's the best way to go about it, but I also understand why she might be like, this might be my only chance. I don't know. I don't blame her for choosing that course of action.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the best course of action.
That's a good distinction. Yeah, I agree with that. I also noticed that they have a tracking app. Is that normal now? I know I'm
a lot of folks do. I don't know if I have with Madam Fax yet, but I'm completely open. You can just share your location on Google Maps with someone. I could send you a little thing that's like, hey, here's my location stuff. And you could basically go to it any time and be like, where Klaus at? And Google Maps will be like, he's right here. Or at least his phone is. You can definitely do that. And I know some couples do that, not in necessarily a suspicious way, though probably a little bit of a suspicious way, but also probably just it's just he's not answering his phone. I wonder what's up. Oh, he's at the grocery store. He doesn't get good signal.
That makes sense.
Stuff like that. I honestly, thinking about it, I will probably talk with my partner now and be like, hey, I'm going to share my location info with you just so you have that in case.
Yeah, it's as a thing that you offer to your partner. That could be a very nice thing, I guess.
Yeah. So I got no problems there. I do have problems with the guy. And I will say this. I'm sure there's going to be someone who brings it up. I am sure struggling to have a child and going through all this stuff and life or whatever, I am sure that best friend, husband guy or whatever, is going through some stuff and making some mistakes.
For sure.
And hey, if his wife wants to work that out with him and everything, that's fine.
Yeah.
But it doesn't make what he's doing okay. Yeah. And if she wants to be mad at him and kick him to the curb, she's got every right at that point.
Yeah, cheating is a breach of agreement, and when the agreement is gone, you make a new agreement. Sometimes that agreement is we don't talk anymore.
Exactly.
It's you make your decisions, but
spoken like a true lawyer here at Fax and Son Attorneys at Law.
Are you my father?
I have news for you, Sean. No.
Oh, good. Okay. I would have been deeply confused.
Me too.
It mathematically does not work.
I am older than you.
But not that much.
Who's to say? I have an ageless appearance.
That's true.